They say at WhatCulture, everyone's got a gimmick, an eel, a drink, a podcast that can be controlled. But the great ones, they use it to their advantage. They own it. They've got them right where they want them. The rest just haven't figured it out yet.
See, guys, anything's possible in the pyramid.
So, Uno!
Wait, are we not playing poker?
Well, this didn't work. Do you go back to Vegas?
Yeah?
Okay.
Welcome back to fabulous WhatCulture Mania Las Vegas. 4 nights, free entry. You'll be getting WrestleMania ups and downs live in the Luxor Hotel and Casino, and start spreading the news because we're bringing Raw and SmackDown watch parties to New York, New York. Plus, there will be even more huge announcements coming soon, so sign up and be the first to know.
Yes, anything really is possible in the pyramid.
Hello and welcome to the SmackDown Preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by another one of the Dudley Boys, Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not interview SmackDown with us on Raw, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a pretty good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And all the fallout from Elimination Chamber.
Before we get to that, shall we speak about the fallout of what I believe, on microphone called the worst podcast we've ever recorded on Tuesday afternoon? Because to pull the WhatCulture curtain back a little bit,
Oh, yes.
we had the big bosses from Corporate up on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And in a nice company-wide email that one of the bosses typically sends, where they just talk about the week in, it's called Future Media, the week in future and all the things that have been going on, the wins, the losses, the whatevers. Isolated praise for the WhatCulture Wrestling podcast. And I'm paraphrasing here, his words, a lot of funny noises coming from the studio, but hopefully the audience enjoyed it. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, hopefully they did, because it felt like an all-time worst.
So, further on from that, actually, something I don't think I've told you. Tuesday night, one of the bosses was still around at the end of the day. It was a bit like, anyone going to the pub? And I'm never a man to turn down a free pint. Myself and Andy and Phil went along. And, we're chatting about usual stuff and what have you. And the boss said, yeah, there's weird noises coming out of that podcast unit. And I'm suddenly doing the maths and going, oh, God, that's the NXT preview he's listening to.
It's a lot of noises.
I'm genuinely surprised he didn't meet our guest on that podcast, of course. But he did say to me, also, because we've got these little booths for people to work in, he said, also, I was working in one of the booths and it's got all of our amazing WrestleMania posters. Shout out to Adam Nicholas and Phil Chambers for all their hard work on those. And he said, I was looking at last year's Vegas one, and he's easily confused, obviously. He must have not realized this, because he said, why is there you on the poster, Adam, but then also you wearing a hat? And I said, oh,
I see what's happened there.
that's not me, that's Stax. I've got to look very similar to this week's birthday boy, Channing Stax Lorenzo, who's a friend of the channel, obviously. I'm surprised Dave didn't actually meet him when they were passing in the hallway.
But when you explained it, he went, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, what's the deal with this guy? And I explained, and he said, absolutely fair enough. Is he on a good wage? I said, he probably deserves to be on more, if anything.
I was going to say, did you tell him about because he bills us for those weekly flights to and from.
I
don't even know where he lands it anymore, because he's still on top of the old building.
We're bleeding out here. I think he lands on the Tyne like Sully, basically.
And then just gets right back in.
Yeah, just
the winking eye bridge has to like sort of do that rotation.
Oh God, here comes Stacks again.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday. That was just nice because like when you're doing your intro there, I always think of the particularly impressed like noise you make for Friday Night SmackDown. Oh, Friday Night SmackDown! It's all of them noises. Jesse J and Robert Stone, Stacks. It's more noise than words.
I'm just glad Mr. Spunk wasn't on that preview, to be honest, for once.
Did he come to the pub? What are you drinking? Oh God.
I think he came early, to be fair. But before we get into Elimination Chamber Fallout, or arguably talking about the most important SmackDown of the year,
yep.
Before we even talk about that, I've made a little something for us here to commemorate the sort of very big news regarding Friday nights and SmackDown and WWE, with the sad news that Road Dogg has departed as a WWE writer. Yay! Oh, no. What are the chances? I had a whole, hello, my friend, we'll be there again.
Wait, I'm all in. I'd like to hear that. I can't find it. Just take your time. Bingo! That's not the one.
That's not the one. That's not the one.
If there's one thing I know about you, it's you definitely add new stuff to the button, so I look forward to listening to this.
It's not, no, it's not working,
no,
sadly.
But it's broken.
Yeah.
This was, let's not be vulgar and luxurious. I'm not doing this again. I will just sit silently. Buttons. You done?
Let's be honest, no.
He's lost. Well, he's quit. I thought he'd been fired. I believe he's quit.
Yeah, no, I think the official report was something came in the mail today.
These nuts.
Mr. Spunk.
Yeah, he's frustrated and said, see you later.
Which is not the, I guess.
This isn't goodbye, it's great bye.
I like that. You've been thinking about this, haven't you? Like since last night when the news broke.
Shadow boxing.
But then
I did text Hamflett saying we are so effing back.
The thing is,
not that we ever went away.
Well, that's what I think. We must, as responsible media types, when it comes to covering SmackDown, we must get across all this. When Triple H blatantly, transparently used the Road Dogg as a scape dog, scape D-O-double-G, when SmackDown kind of fell off, it sort of backfired a little bit when it got good. As we've noted, like we only needed 5 good ones in a row, and then starting from Perth, Australia last year, there's not been a bad one.
But he has said he's felt slowly pushed more to the sides, and oh look, trending back up.
Well, apparently Ryan Ward, he of the old NXT Golden Era, is being credited with SmackDown's creative upswing.
Yeah, Wardy.
Wardoo numbers of steadily improved since that big data and panel thing like destroyed all the wrestling for about 6 weeks.
No one's watching.
They've gone back to just basically faking the numbers for every wrestling show. Evidently, the truth was out there for about 6 weeks. Nobody liked the look of that, so that went back in its box.
I like the quarter-hour stuff. I missed that.
Oh God, when
suddenly no one actually cares about these people.
You like the bunny could beat Roman Reigns or something, given the right quarter hour. Yeah.
And if you were a bad faith grifter, you either could say, so if there was like a segment and it did like a huge number, you could either say that's because the talent was in that segment, or you say actually it was the segment before. People were like, you need to tune in because, The Miz is saying that he could be Obafemi's Undertaker. Massive spike. Yeah, and then everyone probably tuned out after that when they realised that he wasn't still on the screen.
It's almost like you're very familiar with the ways of bad faith grifter.
I'm just doing my journalistic research, pal.
On Road Dogg, the thing for me was with him, like I understand wrestling remains like...
Dog eat dog.
Yep. And driven by nepotism. Then now forever together. Let's not forget fundamentally how Triple H at least got in the door into the job he's in now. The Road Dogg was Triple H's mate. The Road Dogg has probably held a number of relatively powerful relationships, despite he himself always feeling like on the fringes of those relationships.
Sorry to interject. Would you call him the Pedigree's chum?
Excellent.
That's so good.
He gets a gold star for this episode.
That is tremendous. Nothing's touching that.
I'm going to start handing them out. That's right. You get Wilbourn's gold star. He gets it for that.
I want one. I can't touch that this episode. If I'd known the thing, I would have tried to come up with something that even remotely came close to Pedigree's chum.
Yeah.
I've got to wait a week to try and get a gold. Are they available on Monday?
They are. There's no hard and fast rule about Wilbourn's gold star.
Right. Okay.
It's almost like you've just made it up on the spot.
No, I'm quite invested in Wilbourn's gold star. I think I need one. Right. That's Wilbourn's gold star is my North Star. It's now the sign I'm going to point at.
What do you get when you get 5 stars?
Ooh. I'll bring in my record of achievement. You can have one of those 5 merit points things that I've got that somehow didn't get me a job.
Well, yeah. Maybe I'll come up with the funniest one ever, but you'll just give me 3.5 gold stars.
Yeah. Yes.
No, Road Dogg on WWE Unreal
Mm-hmm.
was particularly pathetic.
Yes.
And I found it interesting that of all, on those shows.
Doesn't spell good news for Abyss then.
God, yeah. They allow so few characters to appear to have any weaknesses on Unreal. I talked about how, and ultimately it backfires because Lyra Valkyria, in tears over the state of that match with Becky Lynch, comes across as more personable and affable, and you're really rooting for her. And what happens on WWE TV, she gets de-pushed for it. And they kind of have to, at some point, they'll have to start again with her.
I've decided I can't be arsed with Unreal Season 2. Just can't be bothered.
It's not going to bother.
No.
I like watching it. I like looking at it. It's terrible. And I think fundamentally it's bad for wrestling because there was a story earlier this week that as soon as, I think it was you or Murray mentioned, it could just be Unreal though. Yeah, of course it could. Everything could be Unreal.
Yeah.
I said this last year. It's the Seth Rollins worked injury business and R-Truth all happening around the same time. You're just, oh God, this is just going to be spun any way they want it in really obnoxious fashion. But they're well made and they're fun to look at, and the backstage areas are never not fascinating.
That's far more interesting than the stuff they're showing, isn't it?
The fact there's always cameras rolling means that they can just catch incidental moments between talents that are quite interesting.
Andy said as much, by the way, on the news. He said, wasn't it great? I know we'll never really know what's gone on behind the scenes and who's responsible for what and what have you. But in a show where they're like, don't worry, this is all we are the, brain council. We know exactly what's going on here. It's a bit of an indictment when they literally just show footage of you going, I think Chelsea Green should be US champion. Valid point. Right, where do we go from here? Don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of your job, pal.
You're not a storyteller, are you? We had a lot of fun recently. I can't remember which one it was. Sidge found that tweet where it was do this storyline. And it was so...
I think it was an NXT preview talking about the under 40s versus the over 40s at WrestleMania.
It was an under 40s versus... What a terrible idea. And the worst of it wasn't just the terrible idea, which we had a lot of fun, picking apart and being dickheads about it and taking the piss out of it. But it was how the idea was framed as simple. Under 40s versus over 40s, it just works.
Yeah.
And it's nothing is that. Nothing is that. You've got to roll out an idea, and then there needs to be the way wrestling works, 52 weeks a year, there needs to be what the wrestler A is doing next, what wrestler B is doing next, are they even going to be around? How do they sell the consequences? Every action should have a consequence. It's not perfect. I don't expect perfection from our wrestling all the time, but especially with lead characters and lead stories, what they do next. Really, really matters. We are not that far removed from watching what happened when a wrestling show didn't consider that ever. The idea. Do you remember the Vince McMahon Raw and SmackDown tear-up years? And how the writers that would leave, or people that worked in WWE that still work there but could just laugh it off because they had enough influence or power over it. Yeah, you spend all week in the office, and you probably spent 4 days on that Raw. Including the weekend, and then by Monday you're watching the show and none of it happened, because he was the boss and he led unilaterally.
Bonkers, wasn't it? Because you watch it and go, sorry, how is this not getting planned if you know you're going to have a show in a week?
Yeah.
But it was that case. People were trying.
And that mentality of, I don't know, something will come up. That had to go. That had to go. And I would, and this, segues nicely into talk of the WWE title match on this SmackDown. The feeling of either nobody having an idea for a follow-up, or not having a lot of confidence behind the idea they had, or really not really committing to it mentally, but still doing it on television, has led us to where we are now. March the 6th.
Yeah.
The WWE title on the line. The likelihood of a WWE title change. The prospect of a singles match, like at last, being booked for WrestleMania. There's a lot of non-committal, non-thought through, I guess, like indifference in that room. Because if there was proper fist pound the table, no, this is the one, we'd have seen the commitment to it by now.
Yes.
Yeah, there's wrestler politics. I've got a thought on this, which I'm going to... I mentioned this on a Q&A that myself and Sid have recorded. They'll actually go out after Cody Drew, but I feel like the discussion on Cody Drew is relevant regardless of who wins.
Yeah.
But in previewing this match, I've got a thought that I'm not... It's probably something that Twitter have been talking about for 3 weeks, because I'm totally out of the loop. It's guys, I kind of got a hot take on this one. But again, wrestler politics are a consideration and should always be. You can have all the ideas in the world and then wrestle enough power to say no. E.g. Roman Reigns results in clearly everything getting torn up and, them having to come up with something new. But I think heads sort of had to roll looking at the landscape of WWE in the last, 14, 15 months. Road Dogg feels like a bit of a patsy. If he has...
At the very least, it's about getting new heads in there, even if you're not changing anyone, just freshening up that, like you say, that not only people coming up with new ideas, but also people necessarily saying that's a bad idea.
You said there was like a writer had updated her LinkedIn to say she was like the lead writer
on Monday Night Raw called Alexandra. Wait a second. Alexandra Williams. It was Alexandra Williams. Yeah.
So presumably she's been promoted from within the writing team, but is also not somebody we know from 20 years of hanging around the wrestling industry.
No, she's got a BA honours in theatre, I believe.
Great.
Which is, arguably, probably the best thing that anyone can achieve is to get a BA honours in theatre. Like, that's pretty bloody impressive.
We must have talked about this. Did you get a 2-1?
Yeah,
I got a 2-1 as well.
All the cool kids get 2-1s.
I think
Yeah, first. I'm not a.
dropped all that head boy stuff by the time I got to university. Yeah.
Too much puss.
I don't know.
Definitely not.
I need to see a record of achievement on that, please.
But yeah. Best of luck to Road Dogg in his future endeavours.
He'll find Summit. That works.
Is he the one who tweeted smooth AF to TK that time?
Yeah, might expect that again. See if Billy Gunn can get him in the side hatch.
That could be for Sidge. If we find out the news that Gogs and the dog...
Dog and Garg's getting at the same time, that'd be so funny. That'll be so... Road Dogg booking John Moxley. Oh, my God.
Or DIY and New Age Outlaws.
Oh, my God. See, I think that might be...
Give him another star. Get the 6. This is the Nicholas salute. Second salute.
It's about bloody time.
Yeah, that is so funny.
I can't wait to finish this podcast so we can go and say that to him.
This week we've booked. Guess what's coming on Dynamite next week?
Go for Revolution. Change of plan, actually. FTR on the books. We've got a couple of new tag teams to add to that match.
Sorry, Death Riders, off to Collision permanently.
And then the Young Bucks like, whoa, no, we won a number one contenders match. How is this even possible? And they say, oh, you didn't know?
And they can't even be called like the New Age Outlaws. So they'll just have to be, it's like the Dogs. They'll just have to be the Outlaws or something.
Could probably get Voodoo King Mafia back.
God.
How much of a bootlicker I probably want to name our tag team after our old boss, if anything?
Just call them the Bootlickers. There you go. The old age bootlickers. Will that do?
The old age in-laws.
Right, let's turn our attention to tonight's show, though.
Yeah.
And yes, before we talk about other things from the Elimination Chamber, the big thing that has led to tonight is the most consequential WWE Championship match of the year, because effectively whoever wins this is walking into WrestleMania. And, well, depending on how this match goes, you're either getting a straight-up singles, pun intended, legacy feud, or just 6 blokes in a match, probably.
Yeah, so let's preview the match first, and then I want to talk a little bit about Cody Rhodes in general. About a week ago, the 6-pack challenge or the multi-man that must have been posited once for us to just talk about it like it was a done deal, like it was
rumored,
happening.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Felt like the call. I like the idea of it as something to look at. I didn't feel like it needed to main event, which I think is a benefit to WrestleMania this year.
Yep.
If this, kind of janky and weird WWE title picture doesn't need the spot, and then it does open it up for currently living Stephanie Vaquer, but based on some of the Twitter activity. Maybe Jade and Rhea, who knows? But it doesn't look like it's going to go that way. It looks like it's going to be a singles match. It was Ibu, I believe. Shout out. Sid told me it was like Ibu that kind of said, look, it's in discussion that like Cody and Randy, singles match. So a somewhat leaked / fed spoiler being put out there. Great work from Ibu to get the scoop. Being known, like, doesn't make this match a done deal, does it? They could,
It's what I want to see.
the plans have changed enough, so Drew could retain, or there could be a schmoz or whatever. But
Mate, if you'd have told me in November this, I'd have been like, get it away. Now it's suddenly like, hey, you get less.
well, I remember, I did actually allude to that. I said, out of the various scenarios that they've landed on, this might be the best case one of the lot. I remember pitching this.
The only
ages
match
ago.
I would not have a complete huff about main eventing night one.
You didn't like this when this was old studio. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
this up as like, they could do Cody Randy, they could stretch it, and you were not happy with that.
No.
And it was that day that I realised I'm way more into this Randy Orton character than even you.
But I am now after Chamber.
Yeah.
Love that twist.
Mhm.
And the addition of Aleister Black always makes things better. That's what we've always said.
It's so funny to think that if that becomes the main event of WrestleMania, like Aleister Black's character is, thank me then.
Yeah.
I made this. Like, it's the best of the bad situation, but I have been so impressed with WWE's slow playing of the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes thing. It's felt believable. Randy eyeballed that title a month after Cody won it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Backlash France.
It's a great story if you decide to tell it, even if you're only doing it in 6 weeks.
The WrestleMania 40, Cody is anointed the new top guy, QB1. He's on Randy and Sami Zayn's shoulders, and they still appear to be two like imminent threats to his title that have never fully turned on him. That's patience, right? It's I can admire that. The Randy Orton loss to Cody Rhodes in the singles match came because Cody was the one willing to like take a few more shortcuts.
Pull the trigger.
Yeah. And Randy waited and waited and waited, and the only time he did it was when he felt like, well, I've got to. This is the WrestleMania opportunity. If I don't do this in the Elimination Chamber, I'm the mug. And he did it, right?
It was so perfect.
Yeah. It was like, I think that was like a smart babyface move rather than any kind of twist or a heel thing or whatever. And Cody had it coming. I honestly think if they do go with Cody and Randy, it's going to be a divided audience that might favour Randy Orton at WrestleMania. People in the opening match.
I think he may even jump Cody post match tonight. He could come in and punt his head.
What, they
off.
want to get him over as a heel
Maybe.
because he's been gotten to by
Like
Aleister
I've been waiting long enough. I'm not waiting a second longer.
Yeah.
The moment you won that match, I knew I had to.
punt, stretch a job, like
Yeah.
mentor turns on student.
Because then you can
Bloody goody.
indulge yourself in 6 weeks of the history between the two of them, rather than just like, well, it's going to be an honor again to face you. Because it didn't work with.
I think it's a risk. I think if based on last year, they turned John Cena heel, seismic event,
Granted, that's a good point.
and he still got cheered. Like Cena still, it was a split crowd.
Cody's, maybe.
Like they're gonna, which is its own problem. But I
would quite like a who's willing to go furthest against each other, so not necessarily a definitive
yeah.
heel.
And Cody saying, "Look, I was beaten you in the past. Do you think I can't get down in the muck if I have to?" Like, basically, what I'm saying is, I don't know if this is good analysis or not. I like it. I like Cody and Randy as a singles match at WrestleMania for the title. It feels like nice and clean and tidy. I was really talking myself into the 6-pack challenge or a multi-man, but part of that was very conditional because I really wanted Sami Zayn and Trick Williams in it, and there was no guarantee either man would be. So I suppose the fantasy booking I was doing in my head still had caveats, and now with the prospect of a singles match,
It has kind of fallen nicely because I think we went in going, just do some sort of 5-6 man off the back of the chamber. I don't know how it'll look. It'll do something. And now suddenly it's like potential night one main event. I personally still think it should be the women, but still. Some exciting news about that being, I think they said 6 women's matches across WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome, which gives me more confidence for our tag title thing that we'll talk about later. And now you've got this rumoured, obviously Drew wouldn't be champion anymore, but not a bad fallback to have a match with Jacob Fatu.
No.
That's the talk.
does he claim the attack and the attack on Jay?
Maybe.
Does that just get squared away once and for all?
Maybe, yeah.
Like Drew McIntyre, basically his
Or Randy's revealed. That's how you start that turn for him.
My son Joshua spotted this all along.
Yeah. Amazing.
Like Drew claiming it, and if you trace it all the way back, that got him into the feud with Cody that ultimately got him the WWE title, that has ultimately lost him the WWE title because of hubris, and now it circles back and Jacob gets to beat him.
She's got a good blueprint. Exactly what you did with Damian Priest last year. Do that all over again. It was awesome.
And Jacob kills and gets the win.
Yeah. And then the other one is Sammy and Trix being talked about with a potential double turn.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like smart business. If you can do it, and I trust Sammy to know how to manage his acting performance and Trick to just keep being Trick.
Yeah, I think Sammy can take care of his Willie in the build to this.
Can we talk about, I had a thought on Cody Rhodes that I wanted to throw your way.
I love hearing your thoughts.
Oh, thanks.
And I love that T-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Where'd you get it from?
I got it from Calgary.
What?
Alberta, Canada. Well, as it turned out, all 40th birthday present. But in my head at the time, part 40th birthday present, part if I eat 4 poutines in a day, Nicholas and Phil will spend $100 on Canadian merch for me. So I got this T-shirt, which is a Stampede Wrestling one, Victoria Pavilion, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I got a Stampede Wrestling one in the style of the Raw is War logo, which you might have also seen on the channel. I got a Hitman's Bar, Bret the Hitman Hart jumper, which can be seen on our trailer for the WrestleMania Las Vegas shows.
Yes.
More on that in a minute. And I got the Calgary Hitmen hockey team T-shirt from outside the merch shop outside the Saddle Dome, the site of Canadian Stampede. I cried a lot in Calgary. So all of these were tear-stained before I'd even worn them. So yeah, thank you, Nicholas, and thank you, Canada.
It's almost time for another food challenge for you.
Yeah.
A week on Monday?
A week on, it's got to be further, 23rd of March, is it? 2 weeks on Monday? Anyway, it's really soon. 4 poutines in 24 hours.
2 weeks on Monday.
Yeah, 4 poutines in 24 hours. They were lush, and I was actually hungry for them at the time. We'll see when I stop being hungry and when I just start getting sad. Eating 100 McDonald's chicken nuggets. Maccas for Smackers. There's no charitable element to this, even though it sounds like it's for a good cause. It's not the only good cause. Is Wilbourn and Sidgwick watching me get gradually sadder, maybe greyer, as I continue to eat 100 nuggets while you two talk about SmackDown.
I might organise I might make sure I make some money off the back of this. I might organise a little bet because the predictions as to how you'll get on are all over the place.
Are they?
Well, I was there when you were having this chat with Andy.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You're very confident. I
think
the
I
way
am.
I feel right now, I think I could eat 100 nuggets right now. I'm so hungry.
Same.
But I also know that I'd get about 10 in and be like, I've made a huge mistake.
Right, I get 30 in, I reckon, because I've never eaten 20 and thought I couldn't eat another 20, but I've never crossed that Rubicon. That's the,
you get a Rubicon with it.
I might do. You said 10, right? And I know you meant that. I've never got to 10 nuggets and thought, oh, I'm getting full. Never in my life, right? So 20 is safe. I feel as a result like 40 is safe, but if I haven't already burped it through, this microphone is getting moved all the way over there so I can burp it through.
Weapon.
Now,
and are you going to have a specific drink?
I think it's going to be cans of Pepsi Max Cherry, but I don't want to commit to that just yet. Something might creep in. It's got to be sugar-free. You don't need to be adding more clog.
Right.
Like, it's got to be a Pepsi Max or it's got to be a Coke Zero type situation. Like,
are your family aware of this?
My wife is. I will never tell my children.
Was that a present you gave to her on her birthday, by the way?
Oh, yeah, good news.
I'm going to be eating 100 nuggets in a few weeks.
Don't need anything for tea that Monday.
God, no. She's going to get a Mackie, isn't she? Just like the Peep Show episode.
Just staring at it.
Naan and a half each. Push the boat out.
Oh, yeah.
I love that scene so much. He says he's going to therapy and he just eats onion barges instead. He's a man after my own heart.
I could.
I don't know how many onion barges I could put away, but that might be that'll
be your chicken nuggets.
Good.
They're so great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Onion barges. Do you know what? A little bit of me, like, I want to know. Like, I would like to know what the threshold actually is. If I'm at like 60, it's one thing to not get it done before you got, which is Sidgwick's going to be on a SmackDown review. He's been dying to get one for ages. So
he loves it.
Worked out perfectly for all of us. Like, you guys might just wrap up a SmackDown review in, what, an hour 10 for a 3-hour show?
We'll see.
So I might just not be able to do it, and I might have to just keep eating the nuggets. But I want to know exactly when it gets rubbish, because I can't imagine it gets rubbish eating chicken
When
nuggets.
does it get bad eating
Yeah.
100 nuggets?
That is a thing I want to have the answer to definitively. So like years later, this will come up in conversation again, and I can say, well, actually once, like I tried eating 100 arrogantly, and by the time I hit nugget 48, that was like when I knew I was in some real trouble. I'd like to know that threshold.
What would you like Brian to Photoshop you onto? Grimace, because you'll be grimacing. There's a ham burglar, obviously, but I feel like that's. I mean, you've got ginger hair. I'm claiming
You're
that
more
one.
of a hamburger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grimace. I like Grimace.
May McCheese,
He's the burger face guy, isn't he?
Officer Big Mac.
Is there a nugget themed
Ooh,
McDonald's
the
character?
Professor.
Professor Nugget?
No, he's just called the Professor.
Okay.
They're all like weird characters, and it's just like some old guy with a mustache.
Yeah, because there's like duck face girl who likes chips or something, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the McNugget buddies.
What's the McNugget buddy?
They're just a small tray of nuggets that are all children, I assume.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't know then.
Look a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
yeah, they look like potatoes with faces on them, basically.
I mean, I've been called worse.
Uncle O'Grimacy. That's
It's an Irish stereotype grimace for St. Patrick's Day.
trying to promote the annual Shamrock Shake, obviously.
Oh, the Shamrock Shake. Do you like that? Like green stuff? I take green chicken nuggets. Imagine if it was like for spooky season or something like Luminous.
Captain Crook.
You're a hook, Captain Crook.
He's the only person in the world who actually thinks a filet-o-fish is good.
Oh, of course, yeah, they need a filet of fish guy.
He
What
just
would-
looks like a Muppet.
I
A
just thought,
Muppet character.
I just thought on Cody Rhodes before we got into chicken nuggets.
Sorry.
It's all right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 23rd of March. If you have often thought to yourself, I actually need a bit of a distraction while I'm listening to these two idiots talk about SmackDown. Well, good news. There's only going to be one idiot. It's going to be Wilbourn. Sidgwick's going to be here, probably disgusted with the state of the show. And then
Discuss it with something.
and then disgusted with the state of me, because I'm just going to sit here and not contribute to the review and simply eat nuggets and see if I can get it done faster than these two can wrap up SmackDown. Let's see how
I
that
think you
goes.
can do it.
You think I can do it?
Nicholas, there's a more
You've seen
sensible
me,
human.
Gorge.
I mean,
Yeah, you were there for Poutine Gate.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if I actually watched them eat them all, though. Like, I had stuff to do, you know. I
Yeah.
wasn't like, just,
Not just then, though. I mean, there's been multiple Gorge times.
yeah, you are a gorger, that's
Yeah.
for sure. I would like to watch as an impartial judge. I have no dog in this fight, and
There'll be a lot of people judging.
I wouldn't bet against you, but I also feel like I've watched this happen to you many times. You grossly underestimate the powers of science and physics.
That's true.
Always.
Are we doing it live?
Yeah,
Live
because
on
there'll be a live
YouTube?
chat.
I was going to say that was going to be my next question, because if I'm going to have to watch that, I'd like to watch that live and
Yeah.
watch him suffer. I'm going to try and sort you out like a little. We'll probably have to move you away from some Sidge a bit, just, you know.
Because he'll be appalled.
Yeah. Get a nugget cam on you somewhere.
In like the isolation booth. Like the
yeah.
coal mine.
I mean, there is a version of events, obviously, where like it just ends in a massive schmorts, this
Yeah.
WWE Championship match, and that's how you get your 5-6 man. But it does feel like whether or not you have Jacob Fatu necessarily have to get involved here, because also I didn't appreciate people being like, "What are you talking about? What was 3 stages of hell for? The whole point was he's not meant to fight for the title again." Well, yeah, he's tried the legitimate ways of going about it.
Yeah.
And quite rightly, the SmackDown GM's gone, "You've literally screwed him out of it both times."
Drew's put
the
himself
Rumble
back in
and
the
the
spot.
Chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's not pick at the storyline not making sense. This one does. Like, you
There was
can
a rumour as
argue
well that you could get Drew and the SmackDown GM. I can't remember what his name is as a match. I don't know if that's happening,
they're sick of each other.
but it's cleaner for Jacob. Jacob needs a big opponent at Mania.
I agree. Yeah, like we can debate like the writers' rooms and the politics and how this WrestleMania card and this title picture has gone, but the fiction's solid. I don't have any issues with how they've arrived at there. Like Drew kept getting kicked out of the building and came back. He like got snuck in at the chamber. He's brought the title scene into disrepute in such an obvious, I don't want to face Cody Rhodes, I'm not being an honourable champion. The SmackDown GM That makes total storyline sense, right? You think you have the power. I've let you get away with too much, so now I'm going to reverse all that. And I like that. I think that's Drew McIntyre suffering the consequences of his actions. On Cody, do you think, because I'm starting to think I do, that, you know, when the apparently there was some reporting or something came out where there was like whispers that Cody was like, no, I think you should belt up Drew McIntyre. I think I should lose this, when they were getting to the 3 stages of hell. Like, one reporter at the very least mentioned, Cody was up for it. Cody was up for losing the title. Do you think there's any possibility that Cody was sort of calling WWE's bluff a little bit and looked at where it was going to land with Roman and Punk? Because he'd have known, Roman's going to win the Rumble. He's not fighting me anymore. That's been scrapped. So it looks like Roman's going to get the Rumble, and it looks like it's going to be Roman Punk. Am I getting in that? You know, we were still working out, could it be a 3-way between the 3 big top stars?
Yeah.
And, you know, all the various moving pieces we've had this run to WrestleMania with the top line. And then he's thought, right, okay, take the belt off me. Let's see how invested people are in me chasing completely out of nowhere in the Royal Rumble. And let's just see what the WWE title picture looks like. What's the perception of the WWE title picture without old Cody Rhodes on top of it? And then within a couple of weeks, it's
WWE
planned.
probably snatched his hand off as well, because then they get Cody in the Chamber and the Rumble to shield for that. Yeah,
and his plan has worked magnificently because within.
I think it is the right call, by the way. I think if he'd held the title this entire time, I'd have been a lot less like.
He's reheated himself up. He's kind of done it at the expense of Drew McIntyre, because within a couple of weeks of this plan that he might have formulated in my head, Roman and Punk have gone on Raw and basically like, Drew McIntyre's on about it's absolutely valueless crap. They wouldn't have done that. If Cody Rhodes was holding it, they would not have done that, right? They were both evidently
respect. Doesn't feel like the Seth belt anymore, does it?
Nah. They evidently respect Cody Rhodes. They evidently respect what that title means when it's around Cody Rhodes' waist. They had no such worry of that with Drew McIntyre. And all of a sudden, there are reports of, SmackDown's numbers have crept up and all that kind of business. And Cody can say, well, yeah, because I'm back on the chase. I've reheated myself. You know, or like, again, so what you're saying about with the spin of the quarter hours, or Drew McIntyre's been like, he's got his own media connection. Like, can you get this out, please? Yeah. I'm in real trouble here. Can you see that I've improved business? Like, but Cody he's got the power to spin it, and he's the QB1. He's got the power to say, look, even in the chasing position, I've made this a little bit hotter. Even with all of your creative disarray, I've kind of made this situation better than it was. Get the belt back on me now and let's go to work.
We haven't really sat here and complained about a 3-hour SmackDown, have we? For a long, long time.
It's been good. It's been eventful. Yeah. They've had the Drew Cody storyline, for better and worse, has dragged in. We said it the week we said this, when everybody was challenging Cody and then suddenly everything flipped because Drew won the belt. Yeah. They've been consistent with that. Every challenger has remained in the picture. Yeah. And it means that you have like multiple segments per show with Cody, with Drew, with Jacob, with Sammy, with Trick, with Randy Orton, with Aleister Black. It's a pretty packed, like, overlapping scene that has led us to something like Elimination Chamber, where the SmackDown side of things felt like what that match was about. Yes. Like, Javon Evans felt a bit like a special guest. Logan Paul qualified on SmackDown. Division kind of went there. It was like, that's where all this business is kind of getting done. You know, it's been alive, this scene. So whilst I wouldn't necessarily say that Drew himself has felt credible as a champion, the title picture through its chaos has been a bit more interesting to watch.
Changeable, hasn't it?
Yeah, and but I know that chaos is not this long-term thing you can dine out on.
No.
You can do it for short term. I think that was why I was kind of trying to talk myself into thinking, the 6-pack will do. Because that's how Trick gets a major match, that kind of thing. Yeah. But, like, Cody Rhodes has done, he's maybe rolled the dice on himself a little bit. It's worked out, and now we could get the belt back just in time. And Drew's reign's not going to, I don't think it's going to be held up as a total failure. I just think it's funny.
Transitional, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Ironically, back to Cody.
I was going to say it is, but the idea of a transitional is like you beat somebody without having to beat them. It's Cody to himself. Like so that's where
me
Drew
back to Mania, probably.
Yeah, that's where Drew's defense falls down a bit. But I think if you're looking at it politically from a Cody point of view, he's kind of smelling the roses out of all this, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's just to say how, like, wrestlers going to be wrestlers about this thing. You never know. Like, Drew, if he's at all the mark for that belt, and I don't really hold it against wrestlers, that is the the richest prize of all the belts and all the companies. That's the one. I think you're allowed to think, no, this is even if you're Jinder Mahal, the worst one ever, you hold that belt and it's like, well, I did it. Not many people have done this, and I did it. It was abysmal. They wanted the last abysmal, but he got it. Drew McIntyre is, if nothing else, a more credible wrestler than Jinder. He's
got to hold it in front of people for once.
He got that. He took it to Glasgow. Remember that? They timed it out that he got to have that night. The takeaways, like, it's not. He suffered a bit of reputational damage. He has, but weren't we all saying it a little bit behind his back anyway? Like the Punk feud always had the echoes of, it's because you were with a star. Like you do great work. Not to patronize, you do great work there, and then occasionally you get to interact with the people there.
Yeah. And
I like that there's a Seth element to this, isn't it? He thinks he should be there, and there's no problem with a wrestler thinking that about themselves. Like, you want that.
Tier rank the roster, shouldn't we, one day?
Oh, that would go down absolutely fine and normal. I like this.
There are levels to this game.
Yeah. Like, maybe Cody has spotted that and fought for himself a little bit and been a bit shrewd about it and, played the waiting game, and he might now find himself wrestling. Like, this Randy Orton thing was one of the people fantasy booked when Cody first returned, because there's obvious history there to play off, and now we potentially get it at WrestleMania. Like,
and they can just lie. Like, we've always been building towards this.
Yeah. Like,
worked out pretty well for WrestleMania 30, didn't it?
Yeah, they'll use all the little eyeballs of the belt and all the sort of time. Yeah,
fools, we've been planning this for 6 months.
Just waiting for the right moment. And look, this is the second SmackDown. You say the biggest title match of the year, and you're right, but it's the second one on SmackDown in 3 months? Like, if it changes hands, the WWE title changing hands on SmackDown, that has made the 3-hour SmackDowns eventful. That has made this feel like must-see television. Like, we were talking about this morning, I would normally do Fed and Breakfast on a Saturday morning. I can't this weekend because we've got some plans, so it's going to be in the afternoon when I get to it. That's the phone on lockdown. That's I don't want this getting spoiled. Like, this it means something. It's big. It's you've got to tune in. You've got to have your eyes on it. It's good.
And to a certain extent, that also applied last week. A traditional sort of it's the show before the chamber. Oh, everyone's going. They did a bit of that of I know they had the Logan qualifier, but all
first
the
half an hour of that SmackDown.
Yeah, they're all going to interact with each other, but it was amazing. And you also had a huge title change on there, a WrestleMania affecting title change on there, in my opinion. The Unstoppable Forces. Nia Jax Lash Legend defeating Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Rhea, whose fortunes turned around pretty quickly. But tonight, they are hosting, and this is going to be brilliantly unbearable, a championship celebration.
Right, I'm going to stand up for WWE before I use a bit of recent precedent to possibly criticise it. The timing, as called on this very podcast last week, of this title change, I think was perfect. I think this whole Irresistible Forces run has been handled is impeccably the word, because some of the matches have stunk. I'll use it anyway. Impeccably, in that the Royal Rumble was in service of Lash Legend. Nia Jax, for the second time in recent memory, has been the perfect person to help guide an NXT call-up into the main roster world seamlessly.
Becoming a key part of all this, isn't she?
Yeah. The team were immediately established as dominant, but not so dominant that their win was inevitable. They still had to show fight, and they still had to show that ability to team, that ability to win. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky were super, mega, credible, top star world tag team champions. If you're going to beat them, you've got to be proper. Yep. Otherwise, it scans as an upset and it just lives as an upset. You never get to feel like credible champions yourself. So they were relatively patient with when they actually we were overexcited idiots like usual, being we'll belt them up tomorrow if anything. Nia and Lash we just loved straight away. But WWE were a lot more patient with them. They waited it out just to make sure Lash Legend was the real deal. Again, the Rumble was a big night for a big proving ground for her. The TV work has been strong. The match last week was and the Irresistible Forces have had a couple of these TV matches that have massively over-delivered. And then the tag title match was really captivating stuff last week. And then they belt them up right before Chamber so that Rhea Ripley is freed up. That felt like some of that was being left on the off chance Bianca Belair was going to be an option. Yeah. And when it became clear she wasn't, Rhea Ripley, again, people were I've seen coverage or bits have popped up on my YouTube algorithm saying shock, Rhea Ripley back in singles action. I feel like we were across this one a while ago. This is
Yeah,
not me trying to
was-
like Barry Howart's backslap us. This is not one of the, we do that enough. Like, this is not one of them. I feel like we were talking about Rhea as a potential Jade Cargill match for just how big that looks.
Yes.
From the start of this year. It was very much, if not Bianca,
Yeah, if not Bianca,
you just
then
lift Rhea Ripley right in.
it is a very sort of useful backup plan to have, isn't it?
Yeah. And they've done it. And they've timed it out really well. They had that nice Rhea Ripley, Io Sky temporary separation deal on Raw.
Yeah.
Because now Rhea's got to go and live on SmackDown for a month for this WWE title run, this run up to WrestleMania. I think they've handled this perfectly. And now the Irresistible Forces having this like confidence and dominion over the entire division, yet again, let's bring it up every week like we always do until it becomes a graphic, gets us to the every team wants a piece.
Well, you got what, 6 weeks till
Yeah.
this would be the SmackDown before WrestleMania. I think the women involved deserve to be on the WrestleMania card more so than men's tag team titles, without question.
Mhm.
And B, it does feel pretty straightforward. Like, these unbearable heels are out there. God, we're the best. We beat two of the greatest females and then a really successful tag team to win these belts and what have you. Clean, basically.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, yeah, you can just name off the top of your head. Charlotte and Alexa obviously want a piece of all this.
Mhm.
You can hoy your Bailey and Lyra in there if you're going from the other show. Asuka,
Yep.
Kyrie,
Julia and Kiana James.
depending on her status, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez.
Yep. It's strong. It's like the division is in good health. The champions have been crowned at the right time and feel mega credible. At this point, like, I would prefer the multi-woman, but you could book a tournament to determine number one contenders and have WrestleMania as the prize.
Charlotte and Alexa win it, for example.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go to. I mean, I have absolutely no doubt that the women's tag team titles will be defended at WrestleMania. Like, which shouldn't be as big an achievement as it is, and yet, like, I think it will matter, and I think the teams have done well to get over and stay over. They've been focused upon, which has helped. The characters feel a bit more fleshed out. A lot of it is backstage nonsense, but I just think the women maximize their minutes.
Yes.
I think they like do way more with the little they're given. Like they do. It's like it's the, chicken salad from chicken. Ultimately, a lot with these women, but they do. They make it count. The celebration, to get back to that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Nia Jax is a very underrated comedic performer. Lash Legend is super confident and kind of went through boot camp in this world on NXT.
Yes.
So we know she can cope. Of all the weeks to be booking a segment like this, WWE almost need to like sort of prove that they actually know what they're doing with these, because I missed the review on Wednesday. It was my wife's birthday, but the first thing I was told to watch on Thursday morning when I came back in was the Ricky Saints,
Good God.
Joe Hendry thing from the end of NXT. And that is like, I haven't felt like that watching a WWE segment. I know that people have like they through gritted teeth accepted the creative boom back end of 2022, 2023, 2024, but have enjoyed its decline. It's very slow decline. We're nowhere near the worst of WWE. This is fine. We're in the fine era, like sometimes it's great, sometimes it's rubbish. I'll take that after 20 years of absolute slop from Vince McMahon, right? But people have really enjoyed the decline to the point where they just think it's all as bad as it was. I'm here to tell you it's not, and it might never be again, because there's people actually with brains in their heads in that room. They can knock out some rubbish and they can make a mess of some of the plans, like we've seen with this WrestleMania build. But there's always something good kicking around. The talent are too good, and the minds, plural, are not Vince McMahon's melted one. Like,
it has to go through a process, but at the end funnel isn't just like,
lunatic.
who knows what's going to happen here.
Yeah, like it's fine. WWE's fine, and sometimes that's all it is. And of course, I wish it could be better. But but to call it all awful is just you're not watching. You're not watching.
No,
that Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry segment was awful to the point that it put you in mind of those worst days of it. When people put the Creed 2019 video, hello, my friend, we'll meet Gary the Goat Garbutt, like, for example, Bobby's sisters, Bailey, This Is Your Life.
Yeah.
It's been a while, Lana and Bobby Lashley's wedding. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. Bin Monster.
Where you are with me.
Seth pushing Rhea's eye into the steel steps and vomiting. I'm free. It's incomparable. And for the first time in a long time, I'm watching Ricky Saints and Joe Henry. Oh my God, I remember this. Like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how poor it was. So just don't do that, please.
Yes.
Like,
Keep it simple.
Look at that. Have a real word with yourself in the mirror and make sure it's better than that.
Before we get to Rhea and Jade, which we'll conclude with, I've got to talk about men's tag titles because the MFTs have been, well, if you missed last week's SmackDown, Solo lost to Uncle Howdy, but he still got the lantern, so that's good news.
I was annoyed with that. I'm sorry, I was annoyed with that.
Not for me, keep it till WrestleMania.
No, I felt a weight off when Howdy started leaving the lantern because I was like, we've done it. Like everything, all the objectives, us and the MFTs, we're the MFTs representatives,
Of course.
on YouTube. Everything we all laid out in the plan has worked out. They've lifted the titles from the Wyatts, and
now we've got the title. See you later.
Now they can have the silly lantern back.
Respectfully, gentlemen, as the MFT representatives.
Sorry, we're on manners.
Thank you.
And then it took it back. It was really funny when Tyler Tonga just booted out in the face. That was good.
Is this going to affect because there's some sort of tag team number one contendership thing happening tonight? And I was looking and I was like, oof, pretty thin on the ground here. We've got depressed Gargano with no partner.
Mm-hmm.
It could be heading out the Dell. We've got the Motor City Machine Guns, who are ice cold.
I've just enjoyed them finally getting paid like WWE money to never work less than they have in their whole careers.
Got Fraxium, who could arguably just immediately grab your attention, and it's like, oh, no one really cares about this match at WrestleMania. Oh, no, wait a second. Nathan Fraser's done something bonkers. There you go. Or whisper it. Don't do the White 6 because I hate it and I don't want to see any more of them. No offense.
Because I hate it.
Do a returning Street Profits.
Who est the Street Profits?
Last time I saw them was everyone talking about the physical change, let's say, that Montez Ford has had. Yeah, he's got a lot bigger now. But they were working some sort of Largo loop thing, I think, with like Hank and Tank or something last time I saw him.
Yeah, NXT stuff. Street Profits as babyfaces trying to take down the MFTs would be good stuff. Like constantly trying to getting overwhelmed by the numbers game and then just finally getting it down to 2-on-2. I'd like that. Maybe, we haven't considered what else Solo said. He does want the WWE title.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're overlooking Solo's interest in this Cody and Drew situation. He'll be monitoring it closely. Like a
biding his time.
Yeah, like a football manager trying to work out if somebody's like ready to return to the first team yet.
Yeah.
Just be like, do I want to get in this mix yet? Or shall I just wait till post WrestleMania?
Shall I be Backlash Tampa opponents? Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, when he's the Tampa first challenger post WrestleMania. It's gonna be what all this has been building to.
Yeah. Who do you want to see tag team non-contenders? Street Profits is the only team out of that. No, Fraxium. I tell a lie. Street Profits or Fraxium are the only teams out of that I go, that should be on Mania.
I'm going to try and be...
Everything else, I'm like, put it on the SmackDown before Mania.
I'm going to try and be optimistic again, right?
Good.
The Lantern thing was a setback, right? That was a negative. Right now I need 2 positives. So I reckon the Wyatts are in the mix of this tag team thing. Sorry, but they are. They're in the mix of this tag team thing. Let's say we land on there being 3 challengers and it's a 4-way. It doesn't have to be at WrestleMania. You can have it on TV beforehand if you like. But there's a 4-way, and within the body of that match, the MFTs retain and cheat a babyface team out. Let's use the Street Profits, actually, because of the numbers game, and that's created a bit of a tension between those two. But within the body of that match, the Wyatts get the Lantern back and get spun off against like the Motor City Machine Guns or another heel act or whatever, and they're just, we kind of found ourselves in a bit of, like, the MFTs are over there, they're busy brawling, and we found ourselves now in a bit of a fight with so-and-so, and now that's what they're doing. They're off over there, like, because their presences on SmackDown, the Wyatts, people like them. They like doing the phone stuff. There's a live component to it that people get a kick out of. The characters still mean a lot to Bray Wyatt devotees. I think they have
Bray Wyatt, but I feel nothing for all this.
No, I have a weird relationship with the Wyatts in this era of SmackDown because with a 3-hour show, I actually think they have a place.
Yeah.
But I never want them near the characters that I like. I've been
it's over there.
totally straight with you. Yeah, like if they appear in a segment and if they're featured with wrestlers that I'm not that bothered about, I'm like, yeah, do what you want. Like Gargs would be perfect for this. Like it'd be so funny if it, like snapping out of depression was folded into like getting stuck in like the spooky world. Like he refuses to move. Candice LeRae's not been able to move him for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then they just scare him. Like Nikki Cross does that thing with the skirt. Ah! He's oh bloody hell, and
that would snap you out of it, wouldn't it?
Runs away.
Gargs and Kit Wilson become a tag team.
I like that.
Just something in it.
Here's
I've got something to cheer you up with some poetry.
Here's something I've been thinking about. I'm sorry if this steps on your dick and it's an upcoming bullet point, but I guess it means we jump into it now, or I'm just adding something, right? And let's be real here. The guys are drawing a hell of a signing, so it's worth us talking about him anyway. I thought maybe tonight, in light of The Miz failing to be Obafemi's Undertaker, he is once again screaming about a lack of respect as the locker room leader, and in doing so bumps into Danhausen, who curses him, so The Miz continues to lose matches.
Okay.
But what if Danhausen bumps into lying down Gargano and curses him?
Oh, as if it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah, to pile on the misery.
Yeah.
So when Gargs does get back in the ring, he's beaten because Danhausen's cursed him. Because I truly believe that everybody he curses now should really struggle to win. Or like you want to ideally curse. You want about 3 people on Curse Watch.
Yes.
Who like one of them gets to eventually break it, but the other 2 can't. Like what's going to happen to Dirty Dom now? Like, he's not
I'm so excited.
Do you know what I mean? He's not just lost the title. Where else does this go? Is this the end of his place in the Judgment Day? Are we going to get split factions finally in the Judgment Day? Like SmackDown can have one as well. Danhausen should go to SmackDown.
I like that. We said how huge this show is going to be, not just because post-Elimination Chamber, WWE Championship match, but tonight is the first night following on from not only the events of Elimination Chamber, but the events of X and Instagram and social media. Jade Cargill, world champion. Rhea Ripley, #1 contender. Face to face.
What do I think of this? So we'll get the unrealification of everything out of the way. If it just sits there as a thing for season 3 of Unreal, I suppose, it's something interesting for the wrestlers in the talking heads bit to talk about. Like one of them will, Piper Niven was pretty brutal in her specific tweet.
Yeah.
The wrestlers doing their glossy talking heads can kind of share a little bit of what they think, even though some of it's folded in within the work. Then you get the cameras filming this head-to-head tonight, and if either of them botch a line or either of them kind of go a bit over the line, then sure enough, you're going to see Paul and Bruce and Bobby and Chris Abyss and everybody else being like, oh, bloody hell. And it gets to WrestleMania for the payoff of the season. But is it simpler than that? Does somebody in the writer's room remember the genuine buzz that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair segment created and have set about a way to try and manufacture it? Is it just as simple as the old wrestling adage of...
Conflicting reports on it, work or shoot.
Yeah. Like, that worked. So should we try and make one up? Like, that's not uncommon, is it, in wrestling?
It feels huge already, and then adding this spice to it.
Mm-hmm. Jade Cargill is not... Jade Cargill's such an interesting wrestler to analyse, I think, because she's not very good mechanically, but I genuinely believe that the comparison is Sid. Her star power, her complete package, the aura gets you going. Well, I would book her. I would absolutely use her in every role they've given her. And you used to think, Sid would get that. You would, I remember as a kid thinking, well, yeah, it's Sid.
Yeah.
Imagine Sid walks in. You're like, what do you want, sir? How many belts would you like this week?
How can I help you?
Yeah. Well, and then your mate or your advisor or your aide or your right-hand man, whatever. Well, he's never drawn. His matches stink. And, historically, politically, it kind of goes wrong. Or he wants to come play softball in the spring. So he's not even that reliable. You seen him?
Yeah, have you seen the size of him?
Shut up, look at Sid. Shut up, look at Jade Cargill. Doesn't just go a long way, it goes all the way. I agree. And I think that's what makes this captivating, is because everything they're saying can be true and not matter at the same time.
Is there going to be something involving B-Fab and Minchin? Tim Minchin, even, on the road to WrestleMania? Because I keep looking at this and going, B-Fab's got to be a sidekick for Jade Cargill. Because it feels like they've really laid it on so thick that there's going to be some sort of like, oh, I'll have a tune-up match for you, Minchin. And B-Fab, but I'll be in your corner. And Rhea's there, and it looks like, well, no one's in.
And the three of them turn. Well,
maybe, yeah, Minchin joins as well.
I always liked Jade Cargill and the Baddies as an act.
I really like that
in AEW. I thought that worked. I thought Heaters helped her. But I guess what you could do is you could do a bit of a here's a twist deal where, you set the match up and it's all a ruse to get Rhea Ripley. And it would be more attached to this Twitter beef stuff because it's weird, right? Jade Cargill's, she's not the heel, but she's the heel out of her and Rhea Ripley, and yet the wrestlers have turned inward on her. So it's almost like she needs numbers. If they've created this image in your mind of Jade Cargill as a bit of an isolated figure on SmackDown, and then on camera suddenly two women join up with her, they've kind of made sense of the shoot as well within the work. I'm sounding like a Hulk Hogan tweet here. Like, but they've made it like that character think I need allies here. And these two women that like just won't go away no matter how much I kick their ass. Maybe I just get them on side. Maybe they realize that if they hitch the wagon to me, we can all get onto WrestleMania. We can all make money and they can protect my title. And that becomes the story. Like her having two people for Rhea Ripley to beat up.
Yeah.
And Jade faking.
Still got 6 weeks and...
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley can just mouth off every single week, can they?
As we talked about, I thought we'd lost Rhea Ripley, the ass kicker, and she's been kicking ass lately. Mm-hmm. So you only need one segment of her doing that to Jade Cargill for Jade to be like, right, this is a bigger problem than I thought it was.
Even arguably have her go to EO and be like, do you mind helping me out with this problem on SmackDown? And she's like, I'm kind of busy with IC title stuff. I want to get my spot on Mania.
But even then, or as a tag match as a 1 week, B-Fab and Minchin, the new heel allies of Jade Cargill versus Rhea and EO, something to do for a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love how we just fantasy booked something and all of a sudden we plotted 6 weeks of television. This is what I'm saying when like sort of it's not an unfair question to ask a paid WWE writer to be like, well, what about next week?
What?
When two idiots on the internet are being like, right, so we've done that bit that we've imagined and invented.
Yeah.
And now here's the next 3 weeks of television for them.
Question. Just based on what else is on this show, would Nia and Lash make good parents for Jade Cargill?
Oh
my God.
If you didn't already have it, he's getting another gold star for that.
And as well, like the bigger three, because they're all monsters, rather than the big three, when they were just the 3 stars. Just total dominance. I love that so much.
And they've all already got the belts.
All got the belts. 3 people with belts looks class always. Except that one time in NXT when all 3 of them held the titles up and it looked really nerdy. But otherwise, people with all the belts and running roughshod looks awesome.
I can't wait for this show now.
You don't watch it anymore. So this is a spoiler, but not a spoiler. The Apprentice. History was made. Triple firing.
What?
Triple firing.
No one came back to the house?
Nobody. They had to call the house to say nobody's coming back. And all the candidates like, oh, God, it's serious business now. It's like they're getting desperate. I told you at the start of the season they were like shaking the format up. They get Sugar's on the ropes. He knows the traitors has got it. Like they're standing 8 count with the traitors at the moment, and he's like, "Oh, we need to shake things up." Like the panic booking the Apprentice. Like it is getting knocked sideways by the traitors gladiators double header.
Yeah, you're fired. Actually, sir, I won the Uno reverse card, so you're fired.
It's just like he's never looked more weathered by the process, but I don't think it's the process. I think it's the reality that his TV show's not the BBC's Jewel in the Crown anymore. It's good. It's not good, but it's watchable trash. He's keeping the train on the tracks. I reckon within 2 or 3 seasons the Apprentice is done.
Maybe
if the Traitors holds firm, Gladiator shows no sign of slowing down. Like I think the Apprentice is.
Well, the Traitor's Apprentice just okay.
How'd that work?
Don't know. They're all trying to do these jobs for Lord Sugar, but one person has to try and sabotage each pitch because they're all so.
Well, they're all in hooded gowns.
They're all so thick when they do pitches that you could think that has to be deliberate. You have to have deliberately screwed that pitch up by coming up with Mr. Pantsman or whatever his name was.
God, that's a deep pull.
Yeah,
I remember that.
So, and he'd be like, "I think you're the traitor. Actually, I'm just thick." I'm just crap at business.
Did you consider I was just dumb, sir? You're right, I'll give you another chance. Alan Sugar's a Spurs guy, isn't he? All coming up rosy for them.
Womp, womp.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts ahead of SmackDown tonight in the comment section below, or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, you can follow all three of us, sort of. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
HamflettX@gmail.com. I'm also on Cameo. And Cameo Corner questions. Sorry for the delay. They have been answered in full on the aforementioned Q&A podcast with myself and Sid. It'll be dropping on YouTube, on podcast feeds, and all them various
Dabble
places.
Babble this weekend.
Dabble Babble, Cameo Trouble.
You can follow our brilliant producer, Adam Nicholas, at...
It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back later on today with WrestleCulture with a hashtag Blue Quiz, of course. But for now, it's been the SmackDown preview where we've talked all about Road Dogg Gown from WWE, who are going to become the new tag team #1 contenders. Nia and Lash's Unstoppable Forces Championship celebration. All the fallout from Elimination Chamber, and who is heading to WrestleMania as WWE Champion.
SmackDown preview. It's got all this, and because I didn't get a chance to do so within the body of the episode, here's one more plug for WhatCulture Wrestling live in Las Vegas, 4 nights, free entry at New York, and Luxor.
See you soon.